What is going on, everybody? It's Jamie, and welcome to the channel Thrift-Onfire. Today we're going to pull some eBay orders and some Poshmark orders. We're also about midway through the video going to talk about good bookkeeping for selling online. I typically do not give tax advice on this channel, but if you do good bookkeeping, I can tell you right now your taxes will be much easier. You know, you have to be consistent in what you're doing as far as bookkeeping goes, and we'll get into that a little bit later. I personally do hand my my bookkeeping. I use QuickBooks. I hand it off to a tax professional at the end of the year to do my taxes because it makes the most sense for me. And I really do suggest you do that, or at least the first time you're doing your taxes, maybe get a hold of somebody and ask some questions about things that are particular to you, because everybody's situation is a little bit different. Like I said, about halfway through the video, we'll get into the tax stuff, or at least the bookkeeping stuff that will help you with your taxes. But for now, let's pull some orders. We sold a cassette lot on eBay, Brooks & Dunn, a lot of 4 cassettes. Obviously picked these up from the cassette pickup for my aunt. She was doing a estate clear out, and she just wound up giving me all these cassettes. I'm sure you guys heard that before if you've been watching the channel. I had to dig around a little bit. Couldn't find them on the first go around, so I had to look and dig a little further. I will make sure these are the right 4. I don't think I have an alternate set here, but yeah. No buy cost on these. They were given to me. We've made lots of money off of this bin. We made lots of money off of, you know, ones that we have at our antique booth in Delhi. And I also have the rest of them currently at an auction. I don't know how they're going to do, but really, no matter what happens at the auction, I've already made a good amount of money off of these cassettes. It's actually probably been one of the better buys last year at a 0 buy cost, and probably made hundreds, if not thousands of dollars off. Well, probably over $1,000 anyway. I don't know about thousands. I don't want to get carried away, but definitely over $1,000 from free cassettes is no joke. We have a repeat buyer on eBay. That's always a good thing. Roots bathing suit, black, size 16, $30 Canadian. These again have not been moved to eBay.com or anything like that. They're in one of these 2 mini bins. I think I've got them separated in color. There's a black one in here. Oh, that's Levian Rose or whatever. Those are the pink ones. So these must be the black ones. I haven't delisted them yet on haven't delisted it on Poshmark yet, or Depop, only because, so they're size 16. This is the one we're looking for. So it's either I have another size 16 in here and I just relisted on eBay, or I have to go ahead and delist them size 16. So we do have another 16 and another 16. So I really don't have to delist it anywhere. I can just go ahead and relist another black one on eBay. That is really good. These did come from same place I got a lot of the brand new shoes. If you guys remember me picking up a liquidation deal, I think I don't remember if I paid $10 Canadian a bathing suit, something like that, maybe even $5. It was really cheap, you know. And they've been selling, you know, now they're going to start to sell again now that people are probably thinking about vacations, and then after you get your, you know, your winter or your spring vacation out of the way, then it's summer. So these will start to sell again. I do have a few of them. We've made some pretty good money, and we're going to get this guy out of here. Another eBay sale, and I'm a little bit sad about this one. It is a pennant, CFL Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Okay, it's been up here for a while. You can see on these 2 in particular, I did put .ca just so I knew that they were listed on .ca, even though this one is on .com. Yeah, this guy, I almost hate taking it out the wall. I kind of like them being displayed up there, but you know, hopefully we can display some new postcards up here pretty soon if you guys send some. So just a little reminder there, P.O. Box is linked down below if you want to send me a postcard. I'm trying to collect one from every single province, but right now Winnipeg is leaving the building, and like I said, I think I'm gonna put it in a tube, roll it up and put it in a tube. It's gonna be the best way for me to ship this guy out. Happy with the sale, $55. That is pretty good, but I do kind of like it on the wall too, so a little bit disappointed, but you know, either way, we're gonna get it out of here. All right, I thought I should add this in here. So I actually wound up doing a flat lay with this pennant. Okay, you know, you can see these things here, you know, that you don't actually want to roll them up because it's rigid. I was thinking at first that I would roll it up, and I think it would damage this, and then I remember shipping these out before, and I'm like, I don't think I rolled them up then either. I think I laid them flat between, so I just got some cardboard, laid them flat between. It's basically laid between cardboard. You know, I've done a couple layers so it's thick. Then I've took these big oversized poly bags and created just, you know, some protection from moisture and whatnot. But that's how I'm going to ship it out. I don't think it'll cost very much still. You know, I bet you it'll cost me about $10 or something to get this guy out. Won't be anything too crazy on a $55 sale. But anyway, just wanted to update you guys. Do not put, you can do whatever you want, but I would not put these in a tube. I think you would actually damage this. So, you know, like I said, you're more than welcome to try whatever you like, but I would definitely consider doing a flat lay, or if you have a better way of doing it, let me know in the comments down below. Yeah, here are my options. I can do Uni for $5.85, ICS ground for about $10, or Canada Post expedited parcel for about $10.95. Not too bad. This is through Stallion Express, but yeah, Uni. I might go with that one. I'll have to go just read the insurance to see what that will insure me for on this one, because it is, you know, it's not a super cheap item, so I want to make sure that I'm covered. But yeah, we're going to get this one out of here at a pretty good rate. Moving to Poshmark.com, we sold this Adidas jersey, Toronto Maple Leafs 2016, okay, $66 USD. It is a size 54. I think I picked this up from one of my buddies who, this originally, I'm pretty sure came from the Goodwill Bins, but I picked this up at his antique booth in Tillsonburg, Ontario for about maybe $25, something like that. It's in nice condition. There are a couple little spots down here, like I don't know if you can see that little spot, but overall it is pretty clean and a nice jersey. Happy to get 66 USD on this guy. Let's get him out of here. Moving on to Poshmark.ca, $17 Canadian for this Justin Timberlake 2018 concert tee. Pretty modern, obviously. This came from the $800 clothing buy. This is not something I would typically pick up, but you know, some of the modern shirts and modern shirts. Boy, that's pretty heavy. I picked up from him that were kind of cool concert collectible ones still that I know I could make a few bucks on, like this one. $17 isn't crazy, but it's more about building that relationship, to be honest. So I wanted to buy as much as I could that I know that would actually sell. And you know, this isn't huge money, but it is, like I said, it's about building that relationship and getting some good stuff overall. There's lots of really great stuff, right? Oh, here it is. $17 Canadian on this one. Like I said, I'm not making a killing on this, but still happy with the sale, and we're gonna get JT out of here. Okay, now first off, I do use QuickBooks for my bookkeeping, okay? You do not need to use QuickBooks if you do not want to. It obviously costs money, and if you're not comfortable spending that money, you can use Google Sheets for free. You could do any sort of spreadsheet you want. You could just get a book and write things down if you want to do it the old-fashioned way. It doesn't really matter, but I do use I do use QuickBooks Online because I can give my accountant access to everything, and if I have issues, they can look at it and help me through stuff. So for me, it really makes sense, and it takes a lot of the headache out of it, but you do need to track it in some fashion, okay? So the first thing we're going to talk about is your inventory. I personally don't have everything on a spreadsheet on my inventory or anything like that. I do have, you know, when I list something, there's a custom SKU number in eBay so I can find it, but I'm not tracking every single item. You don't have to, you can, but you do not have to, okay? For me, it's money in and money out. So when I go to a thrift store, I try to get an itemized receipt. That would be the best thing you could do because it shows, you know, every single thing you bought and it's broken down. If you can't, it's not the end of the world. You can still keep the regular receipts. If you care, you can write it down, but I don't think you really have to. That's just my opinion based off of, you know, the way my accountant is working things for me. The other thing is if you go to a yard sale and there is no receipt, okay? Now the way it works for me, I just basically pull cash out of an ATM and I write on that cash for yard sales, and then in my QuickBooks there's a little float. I never put down every single time that I spent money in a yard sale. I just, every time I pull out money for a yard sale, that's what I get. I've got this little float that's cash for yard sale, and when I run out of money, I can go get more money and it goes into that float, and that works its way out on QuickBooks, okay? If you don't want to do it that way and you want to track things more individually, you can obviously write yourself a receipt if you go to a garage sale. If you do that, you want to probably write down, you know, just itemized what you have and how much you paid for it. And you're totally allowed to do that. You don't even have to have a receipt book. You can just do it in a little journal or something like that if that's what you want to do. Your second biggest expense is going to be everything associated with the cost of shipping, whether it's buying a label through eBay, Stallion Express, Chit Chats, Canada Post. Probably don't do that one, it's expensive, but do whatever you want. So anytime you spend money on shipping, you buy stamps, whatever, that's going to go against, you know, that's an expense. So you're going to expense that item. Everything else like boxes, poly mailers, bubble mailers, tape, what else? Packing paper, bubble wrap, all that stuff, you're going to keep the receipt. It doesn't matter whether you bought it from Amazon or Staples or wherever you bought it. You're going to keep the receipts for that because that's all going to go against the money that you made, okay? So it's money in and money out. So we're basically trying to balance the two. Some more everyday expenses that you want to worry about is mileage, okay? So you can either download different apps that'll track your mileage, and you get in your car, it'll start and you say it's this personal business, and you click on it and it will track you. You can use something like that. I go the old-fashioned way. I've got a little journal where at the end of the day, I just sit down and fill it out, and I just put all the places I went, and I kind of do a rough estimate of mileage based off of, I do a lot of the same routes through the week, so I kind of know how much roughly it is between here, and here. So I do it that way. I just journal it, but there are apps you can do that will break that down for you. Then no matter what, whenever you get gas in your personal car, if that's what you're using, just keep the receipt. It really, you know, there's like a calculation that is used for how much of the gas you can actually write off at the end of the year based off your mileage and a whole bunch of other things. Don't really worry about that too much right now. You just want to make sure you're collecting all your receipts so that you have proof that you paid for the gas, okay? The calculation is, I think it is pretty simple. I don't honestly know it right offhand because I just hand it off to my accountant who does it. I'm sure you can find it online pretty easily. If I find it online, I'll throw it down in the comments below, just so you a link. Not in the comments, in the description of the video, I'll throw that down there for you guys. But it's pretty basic math. And then you can't go out and buy food for all your buddies and all that type of thing. But if you get coffee once in a while or buy yourself lunch once in a while, you can keep the receipts for those too. There's only like so much you can do with that in a year, and you can't go overboard. So, be reasonable. If you get a coffee in a bagel or a donut on a Saturday morning and you want to throw that receipt in there, I think that's totally fine. I do my fair share of it, but you have to be reasonable because you can't just go out and buy all your buddies dinner and have a night out of town and expect to write it off in your reselling business, because it won't fly, and there'll be a lot of red flags if you do that. We don't want to do that. So be consistent. Yeah, so we're going to jump back in and do some more order pulling right now. And at the end of the video, I'm going to give you some more tips about bookkeeping. I think we have about 4 or 5 more tips to go, but let's jump back into some order pulling. We made an eBay sale. We sold this Maxwell video head cleaner, brand new sealed, on eBay. We listed it for $14.98, accepted an offer of $13. Just got this one listed last week, but it was actually just a couple of days ago, so not too bad really. Quick sale on this cleaner. Let's get it out of here. Another eBay sale, and this time we sold a lot of 3 cards. We're gonna go straight to the bin here, okay? So we have the Centennial autograph here. Okay, these are all Maple Leaf cards. We have Mike Gardner material card here. So last one, we got Freddie Anderson material card here. I think I took $10, and 13 something for a grand total of $33.94. I'll try to throw up the solds for each one of these individually. Same person bought all 3. They did do them individually. I believe they send out offers to exclude the shipping, and so instead of doing like a bundle, they basically just eliminated the shipping in their offers. So, I'm going to ship them all together. I don't intend on refunding any shipping because they did get pretty good offers on all 3 of these. We are going to get these out in the same little mailer though. Yeah, happy with the sale. Get these 3 cards out of here. Another eBay sale and an item from the attic buy. This is a genuine Nintendo AC power adapter, NES 002. Had it listed for $18 USD, accepted $13. I had to take a look in here because I wasn't sure if I actually put another one out here. We sold one, and I mentioned that I had more. If you recall that on the it's probably a month ago or so now, right? I said I had more from the attic buy. I had to go get one, clean it up, throw it in here. I wasn't sure if I did that or not, or just relisted it. I did, so I found one in here. So I think I have 1 or 2 more. I'll do the same thing tomorrow. I'll clean one up, just give it a good wipe down, make sure it works, test it out essentially, and then we can get another one listed. $13 USD in this guy. Let's get it out of here. Sold a hat on eBay, Chicago Bulls starter hat. You guys just see me pick this one up in my last mini haul there. I think it was a $240 buy. $50 USD we listed it for. I think I was sending out offers yesterday, including this one. I sent out an offer for $45 and it was accepted. So that's good news. These hats have been selling pretty quickly, and they're very nice quality hats. They've been cleaned very nicely, and I didn't have to do any of the cleaning this time, so that feels good. We did sell this guy pretty quickly for $45. All right, let's get back into these bookkeeping tips. Okay, so also when we go back to the gas mileage, I should have said as well, if you do any repairs on your car, you can keep those repair receipts, and a portion of that can go against your reselling income as well. It's a little bit tricky, and it's not dollar for dollar, and it's just a percentage, but it's worth keeping. You know, if you get your brakes done in your car or something happened, you know, with your car that was an issue and you had to repair it, whatever it happens to be, keep that, because a portion of that might be able to be used on your taxes. Okay, like I said before, I do money in and money out when it comes to selling online. So whether it's Poshmark, eBay, Depop, when I take my payout, you know, all the HST and everything is already been paid for by, in Canada, like eBay is paying the HST on your behalf. Poshmark is the same way. Most reselling platforms are like that. So the money that you get from them is taxable. And that's why you're using these expenses to get to, you know, to lower your taxable amount, because if you don't do anything, you know, they don't take in consideration the shipping and all these other things, right? So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to lower that amount. So keeping good, consistent books, that's what we talked about. The other thing is one bank, okay? So like if you're going around and using multiple different ATM cards, different credit cards, it's a nightmare to track. And if you ever did get audited or have to prove anything and pull bank accounts, you know, they're going to see all these personal transactions on these accounts as well. That's why having one bank it makes the most sense. So PC Financial in Canada is a free bank app you can get, or bank accounts you can get. I personally have just a card from them, and then I have a MasterCard from them as well, but that's more to do with points. But I just use those two things for my reselling business. I'll use my credit card for everything, when I pay for shipping, when I pay for supplies, inventory, and then I'll pay it off at the end of the week with my payouts, whether the payouts are from eBay, Poshmark, whatever. Just makes it a lot more easy, because then all your income going in and out of that account is all basically, you know, for your reselling business, not just for, you know, those Blue Jays tickets or extra beers you bought at the game or something like that. That should all be separate, okay? The other thing we can write off or talk about is home supplies and expenses, okay? So as far as your home office supplies, so if you buy pens, you know, little booklets, whatever, an office chair, a desk, those things can all be written off fairly easily. When we're talking about computers or more expensive things, depending, like this building, for instance, okay, so this shed is going to be written off against my reselling business, but it's too big and too expensive to just throw on 1 year's taxes. So they're going to basically value the building and depreciate it. A lot of times if you buy yourself like a new computer, whether you're a PC or Mac guy, I'm a Mac guy myself, I think they depreciated my computer over 2 or 3 years. I think it was 2 years. So it's whatever you paid, and a percentage of it goes, you know, against your taxes. So it's not like if you paid $2,000 for your computer, you can't just take that $2,000 and throw it in your taxes for this year. They might make you spread it over a couple of years. But anything you are buying that's for your reselling business, if you buy yourself a printer, you buy ink for your printer, if you're using ink or if you're using toner, all those things, you know, you can use as a write-off. You can even write off some of your utilities like hydro and heat, and things like that, but you have to basically figure out the square footage in your house that you're using, and there's a calculation for that as well. Once again, I don't know what that is right offhand, but that's how it works. You can't write off your entire hydro bill. If you're using a quarter of your house for reselling business, you can write off basically a quarter of your hydro bill or heat bill. But once again, I am not a tax professional. I'm just basing this off of, you know, how things have been working for me and trying to give you some advice and some ideas. But the biggest thing I can tell you for sure is if you're tracking all this stuff, be consistent. Don't change the way you're writing things down. So if you start off with, you know, doing what I'm doing, money in, money out, and you try to change it later and try to inventory everything, it's going to mess up your bookkeeper for sure. So if you can just figure out what you want to do and stay consistent, I think you'll do better off in the long run. Hopefully I helped out some of you guys out there. I know I've been getting a lot of questions about taxes recently. And while I don't like to give tax advice, I will always say keeping good books is a must, because even if you can't figure it out at tax time, you could hand it over to a professional who's going to look at your books and say, yeah, you did a great job. Or they might say, here's where you could do better. But that's a good thing as well. If you do decide to do your own taxes through like TurboTax or something like that, I think there's one more step you can go where after you do your taxes, you can have somebody look over them. So it might be a little bit cheaper than just getting just going out and getting yourself a professional to do it. You can still do it yourself, but then have somebody look over it. Regardless of what you do, I wish you all the best in this upcoming tax season. If you guys like videos like this, please give it a big thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing for more content. We'll see you guys soon.